What's up guys? So basically I've seen a lot of these videos on YouTube, you know, it's like those kind of, you know, month wrap up or what I read this month. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna snatch up that idea and do it as well. So yeah, because I really like reading, I thought this would be a great video to do. Yeah, if you like this kind of content, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the book reading. I mean the book reviews, talking about stuff. Basically I have five books here that I'm going to be talking about today, but I've actually read this month, so yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I have is called Vox. So this is by Christina Doucher, don't know how to say that, but yeah. So this is kind of a modern reimagining of The Handmaid's Tale. If you have not read The Handmaid's Tale, I highly suggest reading it. It's like one of those classics that you have to read, and a lot of people study it in school as well, so definitely read The Handmaid's Tale. And you definitely see that coming out in this book, with the sassy lesbian activism, with the kind of, you know, the young daughter, with these kind of rituals of shaming. You definitely see that in this. Basically in this, women have these like little wristwatch counters, and they can only say 100 words a day. So if they say more than 100 words, they get shocked with electricity. And imagine, like right now I'd probably be shocked because I've definitely said more than 100 words. And it's just an insane, crazy concept to think of. There are some really, you know, interesting and conflicting characters in this. So Jean herself, she...
Forgot to mention, Jean is actually Jean is actually the protagonist of this book, and the whole kind of book is about her journey in this kind of totalitarian society, so to speak. Or totalitarian, I can never say it, but yeah.
She is really against this whole kind of movement. She hates what society's become. She begins hating her son. Her son is a prime example of what happens, of like when, you know, these people are brainwashed. He comes home from school with talking to his mum as if she's lesser than him just because she's a woman, and it's really, really interesting to read, and it really just gets you thinking. However, I do have some critiquing of this book. So basically, because she is a psychologist, there is some bits where I feel like she gets too technical and too kind of into the science, and it kind of takes away from what the actual book is about, because it's not about the psychology or the science. Yes, it shows that she is this kind of smart, powerful, you know, strong, independent woman who shouldn't be oppressed by society. The book is not meant to be centered around kind of all these technicalities of science, and I do psychology, so at those bits I was like, oh my god, yes, I understand this, but I feel like I was taken away from the plot, which I didn't really like. And for someone, say if they don't do psychology or know anything about it, it might be a bit, you know, too much. Also, I have mixed feelings about the ending. So I'm not going to do any spoilers or tell you, because I definitely think you should still read this. But the ending, I can't tell if I like it or not. I didn't do a rating for this one, so overall I'd give this book I'd say a 4.5 out of 5. I really did enjoy this book. So. Right, so it's actually another day because my filming was interrupted. Also, my hair is looking like trash, hence the pom-poms, but yeah, I'm just gonna carry on with the video. So the next book that I read was The Accident. So basically I love me some psychological thrillers, so I was super excited to read this book. And you know, when I first started reading it, I was like, oh my god, I love this. So what I really liked, first of all, is the structure of this book. Throughout the whole narrative, there was diary entries plotted in from the main character. So I really, really like that, because you get like an insight into her thoughts, and also it was a look into her past, which helps you to kind of piece the whole narrative together, which is really interesting. Just to give you a little overview, so there's this woman and her daughter tries to kill herself by stepping in front of a bus, and then she kind of goes on this journey of trying to find out what happened, and it turns out maybe she's the reason why this actually happened. I really liked the storyline of this book. That's what kind of pulled me through it, because there were some bits where I just felt disconnected from it. Like, you know, the writing wasn't bad, but I feel like sometimes there was just too much happening, and you know, just too much. And the ending, oh my god. So this is meant to be a psychological thriller, and I don't know, the ending, it just seemed kind of unreal and funny to me in a way. That probably sounds really bad, but then after I read this book, I actually went on Goodreads to like see some people's reviews, and they were saying the exact same thing. Like, the ending, I feel like it could have been so much better, but I would still suggest reading it because, you know, it's an interesting storyline and it's a good read. Another little nitpick thing that I have to do with this. So I can't actually remember the quote, so I'm going to read it out. The husband kind of feared she was going to commit suicide, and she says he probably thinks I'm about to do a Sylvia Plath and walk into the sea. First of all, Sylvia Plath did not kill herself that way. That was Virginia Woolf. Sylvia Plath actually killed herself in her kitchen. So I don't know if that was meant to be intentionally wrong or not, but yeah, that kind of annoyed me that that wasn't right. But overall, I'd probably give this book a 3 out of 5. So yeah, my next book is The Sisters Brothers. So this was actually shortlisted for the 2011 Man Booker Prize, so that means it's got some literary value, but like all books have literary value. But yeah, so first of all, can we just talk about how beautiful this cover is? Like, oh my god, the artwork on this is amazing. I'm obsessed with the colour scheme, the imagery, just a bit obsessed in general. But yeah, no, I loved this book, and I know there's a film adaptation, so I'm gonna have to check that out as well. So basically there's these two brothers, but they're known as the Charlie sisters, hence the name The Sisters Brothers, and basically they're kind of like hired assassins. So they work for this guy called the Commodore, I cannot say his name to save my life, and yes, they've been hired to kill this man, and basically it's all about their journey, and it's told from the point of view of Eli, which is one of the brothers. And he's like, you know, that sensitive, warm, kind of, you know, nice brother. And then you have Charlie, who's like the drunk, the almost psychopathic brother. So they're like polar opposites, and I love that kind of contrast. And it's set in the American West, which is actually pretty interesting. And it's told from the point of view of Eli. And through that we really get to see like his more emotional, kind of sensitive side, which I like. And you can't help but sympathize with him despite him being a cold-blooded killer. But he's not actually cold-blooded, he's actually very warm-blooded. Blooded, because he's a very nice character. But yeah, and he basically, you know, begins to question what he does for a living, like his life, the morals and all that. And it's just a really good book, and you feel so many different emotions when reading this. Like at one point you're like crying with tears, and then you go to being like happy or like annoyed, and it's just so many emotions. So overall, I'd give this book a 5 out of 5. Absolutely am in love with this book. Would definitely recommend it to anyone who loves books just in general, like not even a specific genre. So my next book is actually City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, and it's a part of the Shadowhunter series. So basically I've seen the TV series and I was like, oh my god, I love the show, like I love me some Netflix. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read the books. So I bought the series, and this is the first one. She's a bit thick, and yeah, so basically this is kind of like, you know, your average teen kind of book. You know, there's no overly complicated language, but you know, it's still really interesting, good storyline. I already knew it, but I just wanted to see how it had been adapted from this book, and they've done a pretty good job, because I know it had a lot of hate, like the show, saying that, oh, it's not as good as the book and blah blah blah, but I actually thought they did a pretty good job. So yeah, it's kind of all about the shadow world almost. You know, you have all the mythical creatures and all that kind of thing, and the shadow hunters are the ones that kill the demons, but then there are like good ones, and just like, you know, that whole kind of mythical world that we all love. And yeah, I really do like this. It's just, you know, a nice easy little book. I say little, easy book to read. So I would rate this book I would say a 4 out of 5. It's a really nice read if you want a nice, you know, chill read, not too much, just a nice kind of teen book. So for my final book that I have read, it is called Cell 7. Again, love me some like dark thrillery mystery kind of book. So basically there's been like a murder of this super famous celebrity, and this girl Martha, who's like a teen, has been accused of it, and there is this new kind of system. So basically this new legal system is you have 7 days, hence the name, cell 7, and through those 7 days the person on trial goes through these 7 cells, and you basically put on a TV show where they try and investigate the murder. It's a very, very biased show, and basically the public vote for whether you die or not, because the death penalty has been reinstated. I'm giving a really bad description here.
Let me read this, right? So, an adored celebrity being killed, 16-year-old Martha Honeydew was found holding a gun standing over the body. The general public will decide whether Martha is innocent or guilty by viewing daily episodes of her hugely popular TV show Death is Justice, the only TV show that gives apparent life and death decisions, all for the price of a premium freight phone call. Martha has
To the crime, but is she guilty, or is reality more complicated than the images we are shown on TV? So, oh my god, the whole concept and idea of this is mind-blowing. Like, imagine the public voting for whether you die or not. It was a really easy read. I literally read this book in one day. One cool thing that I liked, so this switches between perspectives. So you have the perspective of Martha, which is obviously the main protagonist, and you get to like get into her inner thoughts, you know, how she's feeling. We get some flashbacks in there, which is really cool, which help to piece a story together. We also have the perspective of her counsellor, Eve, who's actually going on a journey to unveil what actually happened. And then you also have the segments of the TV show, which are kind of cool. They're written in script form, which I think is a cool structural element. Oh my god, every single time I would have to read a part of the TV show, I would just be sitting there just so annoyed, like, oh, can you not see? And it was literally the most frustrating thing, because it was so biased and just so irritating. It's like, you're not even trying to find the truth. And when this one doctor came on to try and, you know, tell the public, like, look, this is our system, this is wrong, he was completely made fun of, and I'm like, is this ever going to end? So I got to the end of this book and I was left on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I was like, what? And so I searched it up online and I realised it's actually part of a series. So now I need to read the second and third book in this series. So I would give this book a solid 4.7 out of 5. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!